This is the world's youngest mother who gave birth when she was just 5. Lena Medina is confirmed to be the youngest mother in history, giving birth at the age of 5 years and 7 months old. Lisa was born back in 1933 and came from what seemed to be a humble family. Her mother was a housemaker, and her father was a silversmith. When Lena was about 5.5 years old, her parents noticed a rather abnormal abdominal swelling, which at first sight, they assumed could have been some sort of tumor. But they would have never guessed that upon diagnosis that Lisa was actually 7 months pregnant. At first, her parents didn't even imagine that it was possible to be pregnant at that age and took the doctor for a fool. They then took Lena to a specialist who finally confirmed the very first diagnosis. Upon hearing this news, the doctor immediately called the police, who quickly arrested Lisa's father as the first suspect. After nearly a week of interrogation, the police had to let her father go as they didn't have sufficient evidence proving that the father had impregnated his own daughter. The second suspect happened to be Lena's cousin, who apparently was born with mental difficulties, which made the authorities think he could have been capable of the terrible act. But once again, with no proper evidence, the police were not able to prosecute him as the father of Lena's child. The authorities then tried to get some answers from Lena while she was with her mother to see if she could remember anyone harming her or forced on her. With the child utterly confused about everything that was happening to her, the police were once again left with no leads to a potential suspect or suspects. With no further evidence and no leads, the authorities ultimately dropped the case. In an article about this case from 1955, it was stated that most of the remote villages from this region in Peru held regular religious festivals that led to a certain kind of group intercourse, which did include minors or children of such ages as Lena. In the absence of a far more plausible theory in Lena's case, it's believed that she was, in fact, wrongfully touched at one of these strange and sick festivals. Due to her young age and underdeveloped body for a pregnancy, the only way for Lena to give birth to this baby was via cesarean section. This implicated many risks that could have cost Lena her life. When Lena was 8 months pregnant, and her parents were pressured by the media, her mother did confess that Lena had started her menstruation at the age of 3. It was later found out by some specialists that Lena suffered from a condition known as precocious puberty. This meant that her reproductive organs would develop at a very young age. Glands that secrete growth and reproductive hormones begin functioning abnormally early in life, resulting in this rare condition. The exact reason behind this rare disorder is still unknown. The doctors at the maternity clinic knew that there was a high chance for the baby to have severe difficulties as Lena's young organism was thought at the time to be underdeveloped. Therefore, it would be difficult to offer the baby the nutrition required when developing during the 9 months of pregnancy. With a miracle, Lena's baby was born healthy with a perfect weight of 2.7 kilograms and coincidentally on Mother's Day in 1939. The baby was named after Lena's doctor, who had helped her through the labor process. The father's identity still remains an unsolved mystery, even to this day. What is certain is that Lena was another young innocent, the fifth victim of such unimaginable harm. What's even more terrible is that this is still happening to this day. Lena's parents did their best to offer their daughter and their grandchild a normal childhood by gradually explaining to them as they grew up the relation between the two. It's certainly admirable that Lena's parents protected her privacy and did not use Lena's unique condition for financial gain. Many researchers and doctors also took a massive interest in Lena's case and therefore wanted to study her along with her child. Lena's parents once again flat out refused as they wanted to offer her a normal childhood. Lena is still alive and very well today at the proud age of 87. However, not much is known about her son in the last few decades as the public has been respectful of the family's privacy.